everyone. Welcome to another Mind Power Monday. I hope you're having a great day so far, and as always that you had a really wonderful weekend doing whatever it is that makes you happy, spending time with family. I know things are a bit restrictive these days with regards to spending time with friends. For most of us, I think across the country, I don't know all the different provinces, but I think a lot of us are pretty much at home with the people that we live with. So hope you had a great weekend hunkering down with those that you love. Anyhow, I'm Melanie Robinson, and I'm a real estate investor just like the rest of you. I have focused on all sorts of different strategies over the last few years. Right now, good morning, Kathy. Right now, I am focusing on long-term buy and hold. So I focused on other things, new builds and foreclosures, all sorts of different things, flips. And right now, I'm really super motivated to be building my long-term buy and hold portfolio so that I can retire one day. So that's my focus right now, focusing actually on building partnerships across the country so I'm able to offer some amazing opportunities to investors that I didn't otherwise have access to before. So super excited about what I've got going on in the real estate investing world. Good morning, everyone. And that's me as a real estate investor, and why, as always, am I as a real estate investor doing these Mind Power Mondays with you. My background is in NLP. I'm a master practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, which really means a whole lot of nothing, except that I've spent a lot of time being trained on how the mind works and how we can use our mind in order to help us achieve the results that we want. So it's super powerful in teams, leadership, communication skills, sales, all sorts of different aspects of building our business. And I did focus on that. We have a family business, so I did that for many years, and now I've hopped over to the real estate investing world. So I'm super grateful to be able to share these things that I know about our brain, how we think, how we process information, and help you understand where you might potentially be limiting yourself and where you can purposefully make life easier, more enjoyable for yourself. So good morning, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day so far. So what are we going to talk about today? Oh, by the way, I decided to give you a new setting because I don't know about you, but I'm getting really tired of my home and my office, seeing as I feel like I'm in there 24/7. So you're in my family room today. I don't know if you can see. No, I don't think you can see. My dog's laying in front of the fire. This is where I hunker down and relax at the end of a day. So I thought I would give both of us a new some new scenery, and maybe I'll do that on Mondays because I am finding that my office is getting a little boring after many months of living in there, basically. Anyhow, what are we going to talk about today? Today, we are going to talk about, and as I often do, I did post, thank you all who did give me sort of some of the things that you're struggling with right now. I always have a hard time once you guys give me these great ideas. I want to help you all, but I did choose one for today because I thought it would be a really powerful opportunity to learn again about sort of the structure behind your thoughts. So the one that I chose for today is the fear of failure. Somebody actually requested, guidance on how to replace your fear of failure with fear of regret. And so I thought that was a really super interesting concept and topic and an opportunity for me to share with you. I'm going to read all your comments after, you guys, because I'm terrible at being able to focus on the message that I so deeply want to share with you and also talk. But yes, that's my couch. I did see that. Anyhow, so fear of failure and replacing that with fear of regret. That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's first talk about fear of failure so that we can break it down. What I really want to share with you after all of these Mondays together is the hope that you start to really analyze the way you're thinking about things and break it down yourself. Really question yourself. How am I thinking about this? Is it supporting me in achieving what I want, or is it making things harder for me or moving me away from it? So that's what I'm wanting to share with you each Monday, different little ways that you can think. And then of course to have you, able to potentially start to analyze yourself, question yourself, really hold yourself accountable to your thoughts, recognizing the power you have and making those shifts if and when possible. Okay, so fear of failure. Super common for all of us. Again, natural. I always want everybody to know that whatever you're feeling is completely natural. Let's just break it down from a neurological, from a thought strategy perspective, when we're feeling failure or when we're feeling failure, we've obviously had something not go the way we want. When we're fearing failure, we are imagining that things didn't go well, that we went for something and we failed at it. And when we imagine that, obviously it doesn't feel good. It doesn't serve us, especially when nothing has happened yet. So when we're sitting and we're planning and we're mapping out our future and our strategies and our goals and our wishes and our desires, thinking about and worrying about failing at these things is obviously not going to support us in achieving what we want. I think we all know that. The one thing I do want to point out is, just like the video that I did back in March, fear does have its place, and I think it can be helpful to a degree to make us check in and figure out what am I feeling afraid of here? Have I analyzed this properly? Do I have enough knowledge? Do I need to do more research? What are the pieces potentially that I need to be aware of that I'm missing? How can I possibly set myself up for the greatest success? All of those due diligence, checking in, making sure that this is in line with what it is that you're wanting to achieve, that you've done all of your research thus far. If you have, that's what I think fear has its place for. Fear has its place. It's like it tells us don't jump off that bridge. It tells us to run away from the tiger. It tells us to keep ourselves safe. So we don't want to just dismiss all fear. Good morning, everyone. We don't want to just dismiss fear. Fear has its place, but we don't want to, once we're confident that we have done the research that we want to do, that this is the right thing and it's just our own stuff getting in our way, then it's a matter of replacing that with something else, recognizing it first of all, and then replacing it. So now let's talk about the suggestion of replacing the fear of failure with the fear of regret. And this is where I get super excited about all of this stuff. And I hope that I inspire you guys to sort of dig deeper within yourselves and explore these kinds of conversations. So yes, we can all agree we don't want the fear of failure to hinder us. So let's talk about the fear of regret. Is that a great idea? Is that going to support us in achieving what it is that we want? Remembering that if you're thinking about fearing regret, that means you're thinking about getting to the end of something, looking back and feeling bad about it, wishing you hadn't done it, wishing you hadn't either missed it. So in this case, I'm going to assume the person meant that could motivate them to take action because they wouldn't want to regret not having take action. But regardless of the semantics and the details of it, just for a learning perspective, just to start to challenge yourself on how you're thinking and questioning if it supports you or not, the fear of regret means you are imagining that you're regretting something, that you wish you had done something differently, that something didn't go as you had planned. You're regretting something, right? I think we can all agree on that. And so if we're regretting something, if that's what we're sitting here thinking about, again, same old message every other Monday. If I'm thinking about fearing, worrying about regret, I'm having to imagine that things didn't go the way I wanted. I'm having to imagine that I didn't take action in some way that I had hoped to. I have to imagine that something about the actions that I took didn't get me where I wanted to go. Otherwise, I wouldn't have regret in the first place. So that isn't going to obviously feel good. That's not going to be inspiring. So that's the first thing that I want you to recognize. Replacing the fear of failure with yet another fear that has us imagining not great scenarios, to me, isn't a great way to set yourself up for success, set yourself up for feeling amazing, set yourself up for being motivated. So that's the next piece. If we're looking for all of this to have us be motivated to take action, motivated to achieve our goals, motivated to burst past that fear and get out there and do what we want to do, then we need to be thinking about things that are motivating. So when you're looking at your motivation strategy, you can either be motivated towards what you want or motivated away from what you don't want. So when we are fear of failure, fear of regret, fear of any number of things that we can get in our own head and mess around with ourselves, we are moving away from what we don't want. And a path of way easier a path that's a lot easier, a path of least resistance, a path that has you change your focus is to be towards motivated, to be motivated towards what you want. And that means not thinking about the fear of regret, but thinking about what it is that you do want. Again, forward focused goals, dreams. What are you wanting to achieve? How are you wanting to take action? That has a motivation that comes from inside that fuels you, that fires you up. It means you have clarity. When I say I don't want to have regret, what does that actually mean? How am I any more clear on what it is that I do want? I know I don't want to regret it, but I have no idea in that statement what I actually do want. So recognizing that the statements that you make or the things that you use to potentially drive you, are they clear? Are they towards focused? Are they moving you towards what you want? Is there clarity on that so that you can actually take action? You've got your eye on the goal. And again, when you have your eye on the goal, your brain releases those chemicals. You feel good, you feel driven, you feel motivated. So I would like to suggest that if we're trying to replace the fear of failure with something, let's replace it with something that has us forward focused, that has us working towards what we want, that has us getting motivated to do that. So those are the pieces that I wanted to share with you today. I feel like every week, I feel like I babble and babble the same sorts of things. But again, my hope is that you start to analyze, okay, so I'm thinking that I'd like to replace my fear of failure with a fear of regret, because I really don't want to regret things and miss out on things. Okay, well, hold on a second. What is that going to do inside of me? How is that going to motivate me? Does that get me any more clear on what I want? Because you need to know what you want. You need to know what you're working towards. You need to know all of those details in order to be able to, number one, know when you've achieved them and to celebrate the success. But also, number two is to be motivated. How can we possibly feel motivated if we're thinking about our possible failures, which we all have, let's face it, in the real estate investing world and in life, period? If we focus on the possible failures and we worry about that and we fear that, are we going to feel motivated? If we focus on worrying that we're going to miss out on something, worrying that we're going to regret our decisions, worrying that we're going to, feel bad and have regrets, are we going to feel motivated? No. And so this is recognizing those thoughts that go on in our brain. I talk faster than my mouth can, or I think faster than my mouth can move, I think, when I get all fired up. So it's a matter of recognizing, taking control. These are Mind Power Mondays. And that's because you've got the power within. You just got to pay attention to what you're saying to yourself, break it down, and figure out, is it moving me closer to what I want? Is it having me feel motivated? Is it having me inspired? Am I able to take action? Yes, we've got to pay attention to the fears. We've got to pay attention to those things in order to be smart business people. We can't just ignore them and live in la la land. Having said that, fear often limits us and stops us hot in our tracks from taking action, or has us feeling demotivated, unmotivated, feeling bad, and we can't figure out why we don't have this fire inside of us, why we aren't just going for everything. And these are things that I want you to start to think about and break down. So, the fear of failure versus the fear of regret, I say we turf them both out and we go for getting focused on what we want, what we're wanting to achieve, forward focused, motivated towards what you want, not away from what you don't want. We can often think we know what we want when, if we really do break it down, we're actually only running from where we are. I had an amazing call with a client who, I was asking her what her dreams were, what her goals were. And what we discovered is that she'd actually never dreamed. All she knew is she didn't want to be where she is now. So every sort of pretend goal that she had out in the future, everything that she said she wanted for the future, we realized wasn't what she actually wanted. She actually hadn't given it a whole lot of thought. It was actually simply because she didn't want to be where she is now anymore. And so that's a huge thing. We can be motivated away from what we don't want and not even recognize we don't even know what the heck we do want. So there you have it. I think I've done enough of my soapbox for today. Hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you can go away and start to really Analyze your thoughts. Start to question yourself. Start to challenge yourself. Notice how you're feeling. Get the connection between what it is that you're thinking. Notice if you have fear. What can you replace that with? Are you focused on the future? Are you focused on the potential? Yes, use the fear to do your due diligence and be a smart business person. You have to. But beyond that, throw it out the window and connect with your goals. This is your life. This is my life. We got to make it happen. Nobody else is going to. We've got everything we need in here and in this amazing network of people. So yeah, let's just have another amazing week, analyzing our thoughts, becoming a better version of ourselves, being the best we can be, and making our life happen one step at a time. Alrighty, everyone, you have a fantastic week. Thanks for always tuning in here. Hope you enjoyed my new little setting. I wish my dog had come to say hi. She's laying on her bed in front of the fire. Anyhow, have a great week. As always, connect with me. I'd love to chat, real estate or anything else. And yeah, talk to you later. Alrighty, bye everyone.